Close and Escrow podcast, a show that inspires with fantastic guests that are making an impact. And today we are speaking with Cara Zelas, an early childhood educator and the creator of The Big World of Little Dude, with a mission to empower children with confidence and kindness. Cara provides research based tools and resources, including books and the Humankind curriculum, to help children make a positive impact on the world while integrating social emotional learning with academics. Cara, welcome to our show.
Thank you. So great to be here. Thanks for having me. And I also have a special guest.
Hi,
Little
little
dude.
dude.
Yeah, he's my little buddy today. Actually, little dude had a little bit of an accident, and so he jumped off the bed and hurt his hand, like one of his legs. So he's my little. I'm his therapy dog. Well, therapy person today.
Oh, the tables have turned. Well, hello to you, Cara. Hello, little dude. Thank you so much for inspiring this world, little dude. It's very appropriate that you're with us today.
Take us back to the beginning. How did you first meet Little Dude, and what was your initial impression of him?
Sure. So when I met little dude, he was 2 weeks old and he was like a little brown peanut and he was just so cute. And when we brought him home, he had such a positive impact on my life and my husband's life. And we just had so much love to give to him, and he gave us so much love in return. And all our friends who would come over were just like, oh, he's just so sweet and cute and chill little guy. And then we had this therapy, this dog walker, and he was he helped us. He trained us to, you know, train us to how to look after a dog because we'd never owned a dog before. And then we were chatting, and he's like, little dude has such a great temperament. He'd make a really good therapy dog. So that was kind of the genesis of how I brought little dude to the Good Dog Foundation, where we trained to become a therapy dog team.
How did you see his potential to make an impact early on with those groups and in the classroom with children?
After Little Dude and I were volunteering for about a year, and at the same time, I was teaching at Westside Montessori in New York City. And I had no idea of the impact that the volunteer work would have and the experiences I would have and how it would make me feel. So, that exchange of being kind to people in your community and to meeting a whole range of different people in the community, and I wanted to teach that exchange of kindness to the children in my early childhood classroom. So I approached the head of school and I said, can I please bring little dude into the classroom to teach the kids about kindness and what a therapy dog is? And she said yes. And then the first time I brought him in, I just had an aha moment. He was such an engaging teaching tool. The kids were very engaged. They were curious, all those good things that you want to happen so rich learning can happen. And it just made me realize that little dude or dogs in general could make a really good teaching pal. And at the same time, I was recognizing things that were happening in the classroom. Just for example, when we would greet each child in the morning when they would come into the room, some kids wouldn't look at you, some kids would ignore you, some kids wouldn't respond. And it gave me a moment of pause of why are kids behaving this way, and why aren't we teaching them in an explicit way how to greet someone and how to communicate with each other, like we teach ABCs and 1 2 3s in such an explicit way. Why aren't we teaching how to communicate, or what kindness is, or how to have empathy, or what are manners in a really explicit way, especially in those early years?
Incredible. And, I feel like I was there for the early beginnings. Cara and I share a wonderful friendship, and I admire her so much because of the work that she does. And it definitely resonates with how I like to see our kids thriving in a very positive, kind, and well mannered way. So, the early beginnings then led to um, really your creation of an incredible series of books and a curriculum. So tell us a little bit about what you've created so far that has and what has led to this moment that we can be here and share this stage today.
My husband's an entrepreneur. I was not. I was a teacher. I grew up in Australia. We have a very different way of how we operate, communicate. And so being in New York City and having Seth as kind of like my entrepreneur guide really kind of coached me to push out of my comfort zone and create something where I saw was missing in the market. So I decided to create a book series because children really learn through reading, and it's a great way to connect with children, whether you're in the classroom at home. And I picked 6 themes that I thought would resonate or I thought that was missing. So the first 6 themes were kindness, feelings, manners, empathy, respect, and growth mindset. And then I wrote books about them. And then I wrote lesson plans to go along with them. And then I started teaching that series and that program in schools, at the New York Public Library, various other like bookstores, anywhere that would sort of have little dude and I to advocate for dog therapy, for social and emotional learning, but also to promote teaching those character development skills that we want all our young learners to learn. And so that was kind of the beginning. And then over the last 10 years, I've refined my work. I rebranded in terms of like I found a new illustrator. And then it kind of got to a point was where it was I'm only one human. I can only go into so many classrooms. If I want to make a bigger impact, what can tools can I give to teachers so that they can then use that in their classrooms? And so I created the Humankind curriculum, which is a program that has literacy based. So each theme has a book and lessons and activities that are all hands on, really easy to implement, and that are really fun and engaging for kids to do.
I love reading these books with my kids. I love what you've developed and how you're bringing it out into the world.
Thank you.
So let's talk about winning a highly coveted spot at South by Southwest. It's a huge achievement. How did it feel when you received the news that you've been selected?
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was driving in the car with my children and I had pulled over to like do an errand while they were in the back seat. And I remember receiving the email and being so excited and couldn't believe it. Applied with a professor from CUNY University, and she and I applied together. We were going to talk about dog therapy in the classroom, so she came from it from an academic perspective and I came it from the social and emotional learning lens. And we were so excited because it's a huge conference. South by Southwest has an EDU or an education component the week before, so it's 100% all about education. And it has like innovators in education, lots about AI. And at the moment, education is very negative. It feels like there's a dark cloud over education right now, like what's happening at the DOE, teacher retention, student outcomes. It's all quite negative. And so to be able to go to a conference where there were thought leaders and innovators in education and what's going to come next feels really inspiring to be a part of that community and that group. So it was great. It was an awesome achievement.
And how has being part of South by Southwest helped you expand the mission of Big World of Little Dude and the work you're doing with social emotional learning?
You're just meeting so many different movers and shakers in education. So just from a networking perspective, it's amazing. And it's just a great place to learn. So learning about finances, learning about AI, learning about what's the next innovation in education, just from the learning perspective has really helped me grow and how I can apply that to my business. So you met people that were like in brand and marketing PR in education, ed sales. It was just very specific to education. And so I just learned so much. And I also got a chance to share my work as well, and just hopefully engage people in getting excited about social and emotional learning, and sharing the important message of, having dogs in the classroom as an innovative practice to help kids academically and emotionally.
Fantastic.
What key message do you hope children and adults take away from it?
I want to be able to give parents the tools to be able to talk to their children about emotional intelligence. So it's not also educating the kids, it's also giving the parents the tools. Because as parents, we're so busy, we're so stretched thin, there's so much pressure applied to parents to get it right. But if they don't have the knowledge, or they don't know, how are they going to share that information with their children? And really, social and emotional learning does begin in the home. So through the book series, you're giving parents sort of some themes that they can cover. And then in the back of each book is a how to guide. So there's activities and infographics and comics and activities, so parents can extend the themes at home and go a little deeper. So it's just about giving parents the language and the tools, and empowering them with the knowledge. And then in terms of educators, educators are also under a lot of stress. They have so much on their plate, so many responsibilities. They're dealing with classroom management, administrative issues, so much. I wanted to give them um, a way that they can incorporate social and emotional learning in a really easy and fun way.
Incredible. What inspired the newest book in the Big World of Little Dude series?
Yeah, well, I've got three latest books. They're the ones that you can see behind me. So it's Yes, I Can, A Guide to Courage, a Hello Friend, A Guide to Making Friends, and Brain Vacation, A Guide to Meditation. They're really beautiful, um, beautiful illustrations, because that's also a great engaging tool. And they're also set to music, so you can sing and read the books, and I'm really excited about sharing them.
So amazing. What advice do you have for parents and educators who want to encourage growth mindset in young children?
The way I teach growth mindset is that I explain to the kids that their brain is like a muscle. And just like when you go to the exercise and look after your body, your muscles grow strong. That's like a growth mindset. You have to train your brain for it to grow nice and strong. And the way we do that is that we try new things, even if they feel scary, and also giving them the idea that it's okay to fail, or it's okay to make mistakes, because that's the way that we learn and grow. So I reframe mistakes as a positive, because from mistakes we grow. Like, you're never going to learn how to get to the next stage, or do the hard puzzle, or build the big tower, or whatever your child is facing, or learn how to ride a bike, if you don't try again and again. And you learn from those mistakes. So I think that important piece. And also, I do the power of yet. So I don't know how to do it yet. So it just get reframing it, and the way that we ask children to their inner monologue. Like, how do we ask kids to change their inner monologue? Through things like positive affirmations, like I can do this. So you could even like do that with your kids at home, like I've got this, or I love myself, or just like one simple phrase that you can say over and over again. Like in my kids, I like have little things that I'll stick on their mirrors, like you've got this, or you're doing great, or whatever it is. And even, my daughter came the other day and she put one on my mirror. So it's just about doing those simple, very low, no cost, very low effort. You can just start with one phrase, and you keep repeating it, and then they start internalizing it.
It was something that I introduced to Evan, who's now almost 15. Way back when he was a toddler, was, going back to those early beginnings and introducing him to Little Dude, and a lot of that language that I was able to learn from Cara really has shaped a lot of our conversations. And I truly believe that's why he is as kind as he is as a teenager. And even thinking back, he had printed out quotes right by the door when he would leave out day every day. He would like repeat it to himself, and similarly it's like his own affirmations that he made up on his own, and that and he still comes up with others too that are getting him through the high school years.
Wow. And it's so easy. You just get a post-it note, put it on their mirror, and it might be a surprise to them. They're like, "Ooh, what's this?" Oh, and then it opens up a conversation.
And what about for kids that can't read yet? What do you suggest?
I suggest having a very basic statement like, I can do this, because children will learn through repetition, and you can integrate reading in it. You can be like, this is I, this is can, this is do, and this is this. And kids will rote learn. Like, that's the beginning stages of learning how to read. Like, some kids will read their favorite book and then they can memorize it even though they don't know how to read. So you can teach your kid just one quote and you just do it over and over and over again. So repetition, show it to them, get them to like write it out. Like, you could write it out and they trace over it. And then you can test them. You can be like, what does this say? And they might trip over a few words. You'll be like, oh, okay, they can't say can. They can't get that. So that's the word I'm going to do. And then over time, they will know what that says, even if they can't read.
Oh, you're so incredible because you
Mm.
are an educator. You know, first and foremost, that is who you are in your profession. And, I always think about, your approach is definitely, it's strategic in that way, right? And it's crafted with so much experience. So I love what you do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing our work.
So, looking ahead, what exciting projects or developments are you most excited about for Big World or of Little Dude?
Yeah, so I am getting out the humankind curriculum, which is exciting, and I'm doing some more workshops. I do professional development, so I have a few professional developments coming up. One for the Connecticut's Children's After School Program. They're having a conference in Hartford. I just got invited to present at an early childhood conference in Texas in June, which I'm really pumped about. And so I'm very excited about exploring this workshop that I'm putting together, because it's like a hands-on professional development where the teachers are doing the activities that they can then take back into the classroom. So it's not just me talking at them lecture style, it's getting them engaged in doing the activities to show them how easily you can incorporate social and emotional learning into the classroom with very low materials, very quickly, in a circle time or an afternoon discussion, or just like really fun ways that you can integrate SEL, that makes it fun for the teacher, but also fun for the kids.
Beautiful. How can people find you, Cara? How can people follow along?
My website, which is worldoflittledude.com, and then give me a follow at World of Little Dude. We're on Instagram.
Incredible. Thank you so much. And we're so inspired by all that you're doing for early childhood education and for the parents that are out there. And thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having us. Little Dude's been here the whole time, and he's my little inspiration. I love him so much, and I'm looking after him so much because he's given us so much love.
Thanks, little dude.